GeoCon Unit 1, problem number 49, says find the circumference of a circular drainage pipe if the area, so again we're talking about circles, so the formula for area is pi times the radius squared. The formula for circumference is 2 times pi times the radius. Okay, all we're given is the area, but we need the radius, so I'm going to use this area right here. I'm going to plug that in for this A right there. So area equals pi r squared. I know the area now is 153.86. Okay, so 153.86 equals pi r squared. I need to get this r by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by pi first to get rid of that pi. So I get r squared, go back to green here, r squared, 153.86 divided by pi. And then to get rid of the squared, I'm going to do the square root. Now you're probably looking at that going, that's ugly. You're right, that is ugly. That's terrible. Radius equals, it's this right here. Right? Square root of 153.86 over pi. Now I left it like this because I want to put this whole thing in my calculator at one shot, so I get I don't like to round off until the very end, and so as much as I can I like to keep it like this. In my very next step I'm going to come over here. So notice I've got the circumference is 2 times pi times this radius. Square root 153.86 divided by pi. So when I multiply this, I'd rather multiply this without having to round things off. So if I multiplied and divided and took the square root, I'd have a decimal, I'd have to round it off, and I'd put that over here. I'm just going to leave it like this. So watch what I do on my calculator here. So let me clear that out first. So I need to multiply all of this. So I'm going to do 2. I'm going to do times. I'm going to do my pi symbol, pi. And I'm going to do times. And I need to do this square root. Now depending on your calculator, it'll look a little bit different, but the process will still be the same. I'm going to do the square root button, and notice it puts it inside the square root. Sometimes when your calculator does this, it'll look a little bit different. It'll say 2 times pi times, and when you hit that square root, it goes like that. That'll be exactly the same thing. Okay. Now I want inside of the square root, I want 153.86 divided by pi. And then I can push to the right to get out of that square root. So notice there it all is in there. And I can hit enter. And I get 43. I'll make it big here so you can see how I plug that all in there. All in at once. 43.97. If I'm rounding it to there, that 1 means that stays the same. So I get 43.97 units is the circumference. And there's your answer to problem number 49.